الكلاب دي كلها أمراض مهملة وأمراض مستوطنة. تفضلوا دكتور جون سجيد كم.
Is one of its kind. It never happened in South Sudan. And we're grateful for the organizers, in particular, and above all, the Ministry of Health. This day. So, this is only the few things. I would like to thank you very much for counting us as South Sudan football.
لازم يكونوا موجودين وحاضرين لهذه المناسبة الكبيرة وأيضا لنا. Thank you. شكرا لضيوفنا. Thank you for our guests. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, today it was all about creating awareness to all the communities around, because we see that there's so many neglected tropical diseases. So this event today was just to create awareness to different parts of the country and to the whole of the whole of Juba. As I've said earlier on, today was all about creating awareness. So my goal would be, which is a way to show that we are able to eradicate this disease. If we come together, if we work together, we're able to do it.
This presentation is to provide you an update on the status of the tropical diseases. And in particular, as part of the celebration, this presentation is guided by the theme that is set by the World Health Organization. And the theme of the celebration this year is achieving health equity to end the neglect of poverty-related diseases. And the NTDs are actually core among these diseases that anchor populations in cycle of poverty. As alluded to, the tropical diseases, there are 20 that are globally prioritized for elimination and eradication. South Sudan has 17 of those tropical diseases. One of the conditions which is associated with the onchocerciasis and the measles is a condition called nodding disease. This disease is creating a lot of havoc in South Sudan, especially in the areas of Western Equatoria. And in many of those areas where we have children ages 5 to 18 completely destroyed, their life is completely destroyed. Those children doesn't have a future. They suffer of this condition called nodding syndrome. These children live in villages that are very, very close to rivers that are high breeding sites for the fly that transmits the disease, onchocerciasis or river blindness. Now, let me take you through some of the things that has happened, good things that are happening. So today, as we commemorate this day, we are also celebrating some of the successes that the government and partners have done in South Sudan. Now, until 2015, there was a concerted global effort to fight river blindness. And this was done through a program which is called African Program for Onchocerciasis Control. Now, at that time, it was a control program. But when WHO now elevated the engagement towards and targeting this disease for elimination. We also in the country, we developed our first master plan in 2016 through 2020. And this master plan has provided the direction, the authority for the Minister of Health to engage all the stakeholders to implement aggressive interventions aimed at targeting these diseases for elimination. Now, as a result of the expiry of the APOC program in 2015, 2017, we started incrementally with the support from our partners targeting counties and increasing every year. We started 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, where we achieved a record number of people treated. For the first time in this country, we have reached over 6 million people in 2020 with the two drugs of ivermectin and albendazole, targeting elimination of onchocerciasis and lymphatic filariasis. And of course, by targeting these two diseases, automatically you are also targeting the group of the intestinal helminths, because the combination of these two drugs are very, very strong combination that will kill most of the intestinal helminths. So the Ministry of Health, with the partners, has launched a concerted effort to target these diseases, and we are happy that in 2020 treatment cycle, we have reached over 6 million. Now, Honorable Minister, we have taken the stake even higher. We are now targeting over 10 million people. We are now targeting the 10 million people, and we have put all preparations. In fact, Central Equatoria have already started with the treatment campaign. We are going to roll to all the remaining states and administrative units. Not only that, we have also scaled up with support from our partners to ensure that we are also moving forward in trying to achieve our elimination targets in our fight against lymphatic bilharziasis and also trachoma.
So today we are commemorating the first World Neglected Tropical Diseases Day. It's a really very important day for South Sudan, but also globally. As you may have heard from different presentations, we have 1.7 billion people who are affected by NTDs, and particularly for South Sudan, where we have more than 10 million people affected by NTDs. So this is a really important day, and it is the first of its kind and endorsed by World Health Assembly since last year. So this is really a very good milestone in terms of NTD response. And as you could actually see, for us here in South Sudan, where the multi-sectoral engagement, we have high-level representation ministers from different sectors. It's really a very strong demonstration of really working together, but also all the partners who are here. So this is a good signal that actually together we're going to end NTD in South Sudan. For international community, we really need to continue the solidarity that we have demonstrated in response to NTDs. One, to support countries to really implement the roadmap to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal number 3, but also to make resources, technical and also financial, but also mobilizing political will and support for the ending of NTD here in South Sudan, but also globally.
Today we are celebrating World NTD Day. This day is normally celebrated on the 30th of January every year. So we're joining the rest of the world in celebrating the World Neglected Tropical Disease Day. South Sudan has 17 out of 20 of the neglected tropical diseases. And these 17 neglected tropical diseases are endemic, including schistosomiasis, guinea worm, lymphatic filariasis, just to count a few. So today's celebration goes in line with the global commitment, and the government of South Sudan has strived over the years to fight neglected tropical diseases. So far, we have done some achievements. One of the greatest achievements is almost eliminating guinea worm. South Sudan was working towards the certification of guinea worm free South Sudan. Unfortunately, there was a setback of a case that was discovered in Udichi in Western Paraghazal, but we have reached almost to elimination of guinea worm, which is the greatest achievement, and it's a big milestone that the country has achieved. South Sudan remains committed to the partnership and working closely with partners to eliminate neglected tropical diseases. The government is very committed. Actually, the government of South Sudan with partners are showing 100% commitment with the leadership and political will is there, and the government of South Sudan is really willing to eliminate neglected tropical diseases.
In brief, what was the topic of the lecture today?
We were talking really about river blindness, or onchocerciasis is its medical name, and it was to look at some of the, not just the disease itself, but some of the complications, and we were looking particularly at the relationship between epilepsy and nodding syndrome and river blindness, because there is an association between those two. But it was in the context of neglected tropical diseases, and neglected tropical disease covers a much wider range than what we just touched today, but we wanted to specialize on that today.
Why is it important to sensitize university students about NTD?
I think it's actually really important because most of these diseases are very prevalent in all the communities, often the communities that are far away, and often doctors are sort of trained to high levels of scientific knowledge, and sometimes they forget at times they have to get out of their specialized hospitals and they have to get to the community. So this was really important occasion to sensitize the medical students that their work in the future will not just be in big hospitals, but it will be out in the community. Not only that, this is where all the patients are, but it also can be a very fruitful field for research, and so they have two ways that they can develop this interest.
Okay, what can the scientific community do to further support the fight against NTD in South Sudan?
Well, the scientific community really is geared up for research, and there are different sorts of research, but whereas some groups are looking at very specialized pharmaceutical research or those sort of things, actually it's implementation research or operational research that really needs to be done. And this requires going into communities, assessing the disease burden in those communities, and then working out and trying out, researching different ways to tackle the different diseases, as is going on now in Maridi with epilepsy, as is going on in some areas where coverage is low. How do you get coverage up high? So there are all sorts of fields that we need to look at to really try and make sure that the tools that we already have can really be used to the best ability. So the scientific community is ideally placed for that.
Okay, the last one.